When did you realize you were attractive? When I was 16. Had a case of ugly duckling syndrome imposed mostly by external environment. My high school boyfriend was legally blind. He could read text by wearing a thick lens and plastering it to his face, or get up real close. On a date he went almost nose to nose so he could see me, and when he did, his eyes just lit up. No faking that. It was very sweet. This is so cute. I'm not attractive, but a girl did scream "Hey, you're cute" at me while I was pumping gas the other night. I'm sure she was drunk, but I'll be riding that ego boost for at least the next 3 months. Maybe, just maybe, you're actually cute and the booze just gave her the guts to shout it loud. I like the way you think. That's a big maybe, but for confidence sake I'm going with it. As a more serious answer to the question, getting my first girlfriend helped a lot. I had no idea before that what about me would have been even remotely interesting to other people, but she was incredibly sweet and affirming and knew exactly what to say to make me feel better about myself. Because of her I started seeing how much progress I'd made socially, how much some of the things I'd been trying to do to get myself in better shape physically were actually paying dividends, stuff like that. Now that that relationship has ended, I find myself doubting some of those things again from time to time, but I also realize that that could also just be me being self-defeating. My dad started pointing out how many girls were checking me out whenever we were in public. I was always oblivious to it, mostly because I was in a long-term relationship and never really cared. Initially I laughed at the notion, but a few of my girlfriends have started to point out the same. In high school, my friends and I stumbled across a rally for 9/11 truthers and started to argue with them. At one point one of the truthers got fed up and told us to go away and get a life. He turned to me and said, "You're a good-looking guy. Why don't you go get a girlfriend? It's rare to get that kind of compliment from someone who's pissed at you. You must be fine as to hear that from someone angry at you." When I was a teenager, girls would giggle around me. I thought they were making fun, but one day I was hanging out with a friend and it happened. I wanted to leave, he asked why, then thought I was joking. Brief confusion, sudden realization, total upheaval of my entire paradigm. Edit for clarity, I wanted to leave because I thought they were making fun of me. He thought I was joking when I said, "Those girls over there are making fun of me," because if I had actually made eye contact I would see that they weren't looking at me with disdain but with interest. I have a really vague perception of how I look. I honestly don't know. But I thought I was ugly right up until I reached me early 20s, because boys wouldn't approach me. I think it's because I look a lot younger than I actually am, so when I reached 21, I finally looked legal. I was approached by easily the most handsome man I've ever met, and we dated for 2 years. That was a massive confidence booster for me. So although I still don't know how attractive I actually am, that was the first time I realized I wasn't ugly. Only over the last year or so. When multiple people started telling me, "You could do better," when showing pictures of exes that I deemed to be attractive. When reasonably attractive girls asked me out. When my mates started telling me that I'm a good-looking dude. I didn't have my first kiss till I was nearly 21. I was a late bloomer and definitely not attractive in school. I still don't entirely believe it, to be honest. But enough people are telling me it that I'm starting to. So hey ho. So for the purpose of clarity I'm gonna have to do away with any kind of humility. So I realized I was kind of attractive when people that I thought were attractive seemed romantically interested in me. I wasn't a good-looking or cool kid, but when I hit 16 I started getting way more attention from girls that I thought were hot. When I hit 19 I knew I had become really attractive because, and this is something that I was only able to recognize because I'd seen it happen with a buddy of mine who had always been a good-looking guy, people would talk about it, my good looks, as if it were fact or a foregone conclusion. I think that's when you know someone's really good looking. When you go out to the club and other guys assume that the hottest girls are interested in you, or girls assume you've got a long list of other girls lining up for a date, or people say things like, "You should be a model." Another big one from when I was younger, early 20s, was older women and gay men will just straight up say it. I think it's because they know you're probably not interested in them, so the uncomfortability of rejection is taken off the table so they can be very open, but yeah, they'll just blurt it out like it ain't a thing. Am I the only one who wants some pics to see if they match? I had really bad skin for most of my life, and finally got on Accutane. That stuff is magic. Within 6 months, my skin went from gross to near perfect. My life changed pretty much overnight. I pretty much had a clear line of when I was unattractive to at least decent. I didn't really know how to react to people actually talking to me and looking at me. I made this album a few years ago to show the before and after, and since then I have gained confidence and started eating better and working out. Here is a more recent picture of me. It is amazing how much my stupid skin impacted my life. Anyway, here are those pics you asked for. Wow, thanks everyone for the kind words. I didn't think the internet could be this nice. You are all beautiful. Edit. The treatment took place over 6 months, which is really a blink of an eye. The transformation happened so fast I was having difficulty with the transition. Normally going from unattractive to attractive takes places over years, but mine may as well have been instant. I still struggle with this new life and still find it difficult to even get dates. It just goes to show how important it is to have confidence growing up, and that it is more than physical appearance. I'm still working through stuff, but I am getting better each day. Edit 2. I looked away from Reddit for 1 hour and this sort of blew up. I'll try to answer everyone's questions. Common concerns about Accutane are the side effects. While some of them are true, it is mostly hyped up by the media and circular stories on the internet. That being said, I would only recommend such aggressive treatment if your skin was as bad as mine and you have tried everything under the sun to self-treat. The folks at r/skincare addiction have amazing ways of treating skin less aggressively. My doctor suggested Accutane as a last-ditch effort. We tried everything else before resorting to it. I had absolutely no side effects other than super dry lips and skin, as you can imagine, but that went away and I have little dryness now. My brother, however, had a few side effects such as weak muscles and body aches. His skin was worse than mine, but is now perfectly healthy. He doesn't regret it at all. Edit 3. I took the treatment my junior year of college, believe it or not. My entire family looks really young for our ages. So my life pretty much sucked until I was 20. Final edit. No, I'm not getting paid by Accutane. If anyone knows people from Accutane, let me know so I can be. I am currently searching for a job anyway. Hell, mate. Now that's what you call a transformation. Good for you. I can only imagine what really bad acne does to your self-image. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Slowly but surely depression and anxiety take over and you can't go for 30 minutes in a single day without thinking about how your skin looks. It is devastating to young people in the prime of their lives. Can't wait for it to be over. Amen. People don't realize how bad it is even if it's out of sight, like on your body. I had really bad scarring acne all over my chest and back, and after 2 to 3 years of never wanting anyone in public to see me shirtless, I said it and begged my mom to let me see a dermatologist. Right when she saw my condition, she said I was a prime candidate for Accutane, and my mom was in disbelief. I think it's because I internalized so much of myself, image problems, that my family thought I was okay. It was easily one of the worst things for me, even if it wasn't on my face. It's been 6 years since I started Accutane and I can still see the scars, but they've faded so much I can confidently go to the pool/beach now. I wouldn't wish that kind of condition on my worst enemies. You know the cool thing, too? That time in your life that you felt unattractive probably gives you empathy and compassion for other people. It gave you character. Don't forget that. You're a good-looking kid, but keep being nice to the people who remind you of yourself when you had bad skin. I dated a bodybuilder in college who was beautiful, just wow. And he was so nice. He was kind and thoughtful and treated everyone well, despite being so attractive. Then he showed me a pic of himself in high school, way overweight and bad acne. I asked him how his transformation had impacted him. He said at first it bothered him how differently people treated him, but then he said it helped him remember to be kind to everyone. Hope you carry that with you too.